Welcome, friends. This is the 20th episode of my Educative series. This is Ramkumar bringing to you the commentary on IPO of Indiqube Spaces Ltd. This is a company, shares of which will be listed in the main board of BSE as well as NSE. The IPO is open from 23rd July 2025 to 25th July 2025. The RTA for this IPO is MUFG in time. In terms of disclaimer, I'm currently not registered with any regulator in India like RBI, SEBI, etc. The remaining part of the disclaimer you can read at leisure on the screen in front of you. As far as the issue details are concerned, as we mentioned, this is from 23rd July to 25th July 2025. The anchor investors will have a chance to put in the application on 22nd of July 2021. The issue size is 1 crore 71 lakh 48,335 shares of rupees 1 each. The minimum application in terms of number of shares is 63 shares, and if you look at the lower cutoff, it is 14,175 minimum investment amount. If you look at the upper cutoff or cutoff, if you were to mention, then it is 14,931 rupees. It is a book building issue, and the price ranges from 225 as a lower cutoff to 237 as the upper cutoff. There is an employee reservation in this IPO where the employee gets a discount of rupees 22 on the price that is arrived upon. We will talk about the brief of the company now. The registered office of the company as per the prospectus is Bangalore or Bengaluru in Karnataka. Corporate office is also at the same location. The company is appointed two BRLMs, that is Book Running Lead Managers, ICICI Securities Limited and JM Financial Limited. The credit rating agency for the borrowings of the company from the banks is CRISIL, and they have given a rating of CRISIL A+ with a stable outlook. In terms of when it was founded, the company was founded in 2015. The main line of business of this company is managed workspace solutions. They have got this workspace located across 15 towns and cities in the length and breadth of the country, which covers 150 centers. That means multiple centers in the same city or same town. Out of these 15 cities, the top 3 cities are listed as Bengaluru, Pune and Chennai, which contribute to 93.18% of the revenue in 2023, 91.82% in 2024 and 88.84% in 2025. This you can see is a very high percentage in terms of sales or in terms of revenue from the said 3 locations. The company needs to decrease the reliability or the revenue apportionment from these 3 centers to make it more viable. Otherwise, if any issues are there in one of these 3 cities, there could be an issue with the profitability of the company. The company works on the basis of obtaining these spaces on which the seats are put for the managed workspace on lease or on rental basis. Again, if you see, about 50% of the cost or the expenses is on the rent, so paid. 50% for 2023, reduced to 44% for 2024, and slight increase of 45.5% for 2025. This is a little bit on the higher side, so the company needs to negotiate more to get the rental expenses reduced in terms of the percentage of expenses. In terms of occupancy, the total seat space, if you see, 83.68% was occupied in 2023. It was reduced to 80.21% in 2024. The company is alluded to in the prospectus that in 2025 it is even lesser than this. To that extent, the company is not utilized its seat space completely. This IPO is a fresh issue as well as an OFS. The proceeds of the IPO, to the extent of what is received through the fresh issue, would be used by the company for capital expenses, retiring debts or paying back debts that they have taken in the past, and general corporate purposes. The OFS part would be the money received under the OFS portion will be taken by the sellers. This will not benefit the company. The companies appointed CRISIL Ratings Limited as a manager to the management of the proceeds of the money received under IPO, to the extent of seeing whether it is spent properly on the objects so specified in the prospectus. The companies in the past year, couple of years, issued CCCPs, that is cumulative convertible, compulsorily convertible preference shares. There are two series of CCCPs, Series A and Series B. Series A is about 6 crore 25 lakh shares of rupees 1 each, and Series B is about 1 crore 25 lakh shares of rupees 1 each. Both of these are placed at 0.001% in terms of the dividend percentage so being paid to the company. This will be retired shortly after the IPO is over, and it will be under lock-in till such time the promoter shares are to be under lock-in. Now if you look at the financials of the company, the important financials is with respect to revenue, profit and total assets. So if you look at the 3 years, 22-23, 23-24 and 24-25, the revenue is increased steadily from 579.74 to 830.57 to 1059.29. So if you see the last 2 years, the company has increased the revenue by about 2 times. In terms of profitability, the company is undergoing losses as we speak. So the losses for 22-23 was 198 crores, 23-24 it was 341 crores, 24-25 it is 139 crores. To that extent they have reduced the losses. However, they need to do more to reduce the losses further and bring the company into black, that is to make it profitable. As far as assets are concerned, it's been increasing and the increase is in line with the revenue. So the total assets at the in 2022-23 was 2,969 crores. In 23-24 it was 3,667.9 crores, and in 24-25 it was 4,685 crores. As you can see, the assets have increased proportionally, almost in line with the revenue increase. If you look at the EPS, since the company is not made profit or it's negative or it's made losses, the EPS is minus 15.07 rupees. If you compare this to the peer group, the peer group average EPS is coming out to be 66.66, which is a profit making company, hence the EPS is positive. Now if you look at the factors which are strengths and weaknesses of the company, the general issue about government changing the policies etc. are there. However, in this company, since more than 80% of the business is contributed by 3 centers, that is Bengaluru, Pune and Chennai, any changes in regulations or policies or taxes and tariffs in these 3 states, more particularly in these 3 cities, will create an issue in terms of the company's ability to generate enough of profits. So this needs to be kept in mind, as it's heavily concentrated in terms of obtaining revenue from these 3 centers. As far as litigations are concerned, there are a few litigations against the company, its promoters, promoter group, directors and the KMPs, that is key management personnels. But these are not great in terms of numbers as well as in amount. But however, if the case goes against the company, so much of money will have to be paid by the company, to the extent the profit will be reduced. Now look at the lease rentals portion. The company is having all the 165 centers across these 15 cities, towns and cities on lease or on rent. This is a policy of the company to reduce the cost or to keep the cost at a reasonable level. Along with this comes the risk of the company not being able to maintain the lease or rental location due to the landlord not extending the rent agreement, due to the landlord charging a higher sum and the company not being able to afford it or not being ready to afford it, and thereby having to change it. So this could create issues in terms of continuity in profitability. The company claims that the value-added services that the company provides today contributes about 10 to 12% if you look at the last 3 years of the total revenue. What are the value-added services? The value-added services includes your refurbishments of the seat space, canteen facilities, etc., which actually doesn't contribute too much of business, but has a heavy toll on the employee engagements. As far as development and construction is concerned, the company is well within its rights to develop and construct, and they are doing so for all the rentals that they have taken in. They are all using third party to do the development and construction of the locations that they pinpoint or point out. To that extent, they are dependent heavily on the third party to get the designing done, to get the construction done, and then give the ready-made premises to the company to take it further from there. The company doesn't have too many clients. In fact, if you look at it, the total number of clients have increased slightly, maybe about 15 to 20%, from 594 in 2023 to 702 in 2024 to 769 in 2025. So there is a very small client base. And if you look at the top 10 clients in terms of contribution, this seems to be a bit healthy in terms of the top 10 clients contributing 24.09% in 23, followed by 22.3% in 24, followed by 18.22 in 25. To that extent, the companies ensured that they have reduced the dependability on these 10 clients. To that extent, they are doing well to spread the concentration risk. Now, the company also uses brokers for which the reference fees or commission are paid. So any issue with respect to not being able to get the brokers not being able to get the clients would hamper the client base of the company. The company is into quite a few non-compliances in terms of not filing the forms related to Companies Act with the ROC, etc. So the company has to shore up its abilities to ensure that there are least non-compliances, as now they have to also comply with 2 more or 3 more regulations minimum at least. That is the stock exchange regulations, where they're going to be listed, BSE as well as NSE, and SEBI, the regulator for capital market. The company has mentioned, although presently if you look at the prospectus, the company is adequately insured. They mentioned that at times they may not be adequately insured. This is a risk that the company needs to be taking into account. So any new business they venture into, any new contract they get into, they should ensure that the insurance is done for the full extent. Else they could have an issue in case the insurance is invoked due to any issues with respect to the working of the company. The company's profitability is dependent on a couple of things. One is to identify the right cities and towns, the right location within those cities and towns, and then ensure that the clients are received by the company in these locations or seated in these locations. So this is something that the company needs to ensure. One more issue is about the disruption in activities of the company. Presently the company is into space renting or leading renting of space. If any issue like COVID or any such issue comes about where the working of the company changes from off site to on site to work from home or equivalent, there could be issue with respect to the company's proposition of increasing or retaining the business. This is a serious issue if there is a disruption in the market practices. There is a conflict of interest, as one of the promoters has got a company which is into the similar business, that is renting space, a business of renting space. We have summarized the RHP, that is red herring prospectus, and placed it for you to peruse. This is meant to be purely an educational exercise to make the viewer aware of the pros and cons of the financials and the strengths and weaknesses of the company. In light of the above, there is no reference to the correctness or otherwise of the price on offer, prevailing grey market price, possibility of listing day earnings, etc. The investor is therefore advised to approach professionals and then take a call on whether to invest in this IPO or not. Should you find this video informative and educative, kindly pass it on to your friends and relatives. Please press on the like button and subscribe to this channel. Should you have any doubts, queries or suggestions, kindly contact me at ramkbharosay@gmail.com. Thank you.